This is Abhisheksengupta and welcome back. You are listening to abhisheksenguptaaudioblogs. Now we are here with another episode of Knowledge Talks. Now in this episode of Knowledge Talks, we have with us someone special. That's John Flor. Now he is based in Norway. He is co-founder of SMC Academy. His journey is important as a college dropout to a business maverick. He guides startups to digital greatness. First and foremost, John, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, John. John, we are going straight to the discussion point here. Now, we have taken a wonderful topic that is business and online presence. My pointer number one is, now with increase in digital media for every aspect of life, how important is online presence for businesses? Over to you.
Well, the online presence for businesses, I think it's in today's time, with the technology we have, I think it's of utmost importance. And a company that's not online will slowly but surely fall behind and die out. And if you look at stats, if you do some research, you'll see that more than half of the world's population is online. More than 80% of the digital world is used on the mobile phone. So if you have a company, if you have a business, or you're planning on starting one, using the internet, the digital realm to launch that, to have that, I think that is a key strategic point to make it work, and it's something you definitely should take advantage of.
John, that's pretty interesting. Two of the pointers which I have actually mentioned, first and foremost is, you have rightly mentioned that half of the world's population are online right now, and everything, let it be from business to anything, everything can be fit with the electronic device, let that be laptop, let that be computer, let that be phone as well. Now, that's a key strategy. That's what you have said, because being online is a key strategy. We cannot shy away from our online presence, because this is number one. It gives a boost to the business. Number one, it gives a face. Number two, and most of the time, people prefer this because it has got a very targeted marketing campaigns. Because if we go with a traditional media like magazines or newspaper or billboards, it reaches a wide range of audience. Many of the audiences may not be the target audience, even Exactly. So what happens, if we use the digital media, we can target and pinpoint our audience, we can even segregate using the age, we can even segregate using the geographical location, even segregate using the interest, probably the browsing interest, or even the income group nowadays. So everything is possible with this. Now with this, businesses can really explore a newer strategy for brand building, for marketing, and even for lead generation. So some of the wonderful pointers which we got from you. Now, this takes me to my second point. Now, in this rapidly evolving digital landscape, what key trends should the business be mindful to stay ahead in terms of online presence and engagement? Over to you.
With the digital world changing so rapidly, I mean, the tools we have today will be irrelevant in a year from now. So you have some kings like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, Snapchat. They're advertising platforms that come, and in a few years they will likely go away, and the next one will replace them. So we're moving into an age with AI, for example. And I read through the notes you sent me, where we'll talk about AI a little bit later, but as a company, I mean, you should focus on staying ahead and learning the new trends, the new topics. But I personally believe that the fundamentals will always be the same. And if you can conquer the fundamentals, if you know how that works and can implement it, then it doesn't really matter what's the new fancy trend that's coming or the latest application. The fundamentals are the same, the psychology is the same, the marketing persuasion techniques are the same. It's just a different platform. So social media, for example, it's been for the last 2000 of years, it's just taken a different form. So it went from writing letters to newspapers, or first they had a messenger running around on a horse sharing their message, right? And then letters came out, and then advertisement, magazines, and then newspapers. Later on, the internet came, right? So we always have social media. It's been there all the time. So it's not really trying to figure out something new. If you have the fundamentals, then whatever comes, then you can take your content, take your message, implement it without much struggle because you know how it works. And then the new tool, the new system, for example, we went from words to pictures to videos, and now it's AI. So what's next? The metaverse, probably. But if you have the fundamentals of marketing, of the psychology behind what drives people from just looking to actually buying, then it doesn't matter what comes next. You'll be prepared and you can implement it.
John, you have really wonderfully explained. You have rightly mentioned that the tools which are relevant today will become irrelevant tomorrow. We have seen many, technologies have come and gone. Nokia is one of the examples. Nokia was a leading handset manufacturer at one point of time. But, with the passage of time, we all moved ahead. Number one, even if you remember the social media, the first social media, I must say, was Orkut. We all were there in Orkut at one point of time. Now, Orkut is no longer there. So we now have Facebook, we have got Instagram, and many other platforms are there. So three things which you have mentioned is that, staying ahead is important because we have to foresee what is coming, what is the trend coming. This is number one. Now, we have to keep learning because staying ahead and learning are, I must say, it's the two sides of the same coin. If you are learning, you are staying ahead. If you are not learning, you are not staying ahead. So two sides on the same coin, I generally say. And the third point, which you have rightly mentioned, is a very important point, last but not the least, is the fundamentals. If your fundamentals are strong, everything is strong. You can stay ahead of the curve. You can stay ahead of your competitors. You can learn the market trends, etc., etc. But fundamentals remains the same because the platform changes, the technology changes, but the real fundamental, which are fundamental of business, fundamental of marketing, fundamental of business intelligence, all remains the same. So certain fundamental laws are, we at times say these are immortal laws which goes on from generations to generations. So, but of course, the platform changes, technology changes, trend changes, customers' preferences changes, but fundamentals remain the same. So some of the wonderful pointers which we got from you. Now, this takes me to the third point, personalization. Now, personalization is becoming increasingly important in digital landscape, or I don't say digital marketing. How can the business effectively tailor their online content to meet individual needs and preferences of their audiences? Over to you.
With digital marketing, I mean, there are so many companies all battling for the attention, right? It's an attention game. And I think the personalization is you have to build it around your brand, where it's not just, you don't try to sell to everyone, but you narrow down, you niche down to your core audience, and you personalize your marketing, your products around that. So that when you advertise, when you run campaigns, when you sell stuff, it directly goes to those people who want it. And be very careful, want it, not necessarily need it, they want it. And if your marketing is, if you've narrowed down on an avatar, your dream customer, and your marketing is pinpointed on that, then when they see your ads, when they see your content, they will resonate with it. And then it will feel personal to them. And that's my view on personalizing my business strategy. So that it's not just everywhere out there, because if you open Instagram today, for example, then there are so many ads that's completely irrelevant. So much content it has nothing to do with me or my interest, and I don't want to see it, right? So those people running those ads, they end up paying more they get lower ratings on their ads, etc. Right? Lower conversion rates, lower score, they pay more. So it's overall bad for the business. But I also have a lot of ads I see that I really like, that I want to know more about, right? It resonates with me. And I fall into their personal brand. Now, if you, as a person who runs your company, or especially the marketing department, if they take their time, narrow down who is the dream customer and find out exactly who they are as a person and build your brand according to that. So you go all the way down to, you have their age, gender, where they live. So those are very basic stuff, but you can go all the way down to what specific types of words they use, what color cat do they like, right? Go all the way down, and then you can really start to resonate. And then marketing when you hit those people, it's not a burden, it's not something they feel like they get irritated by, but it's something they actually enjoy watching, they will actually come and thank you for reaching them, right? So for me, that is with personalization of your brand. It's in a way two ways. One side, it has to resonate with you as your company, your brand, your vision, but then you also have to resonate with your target audience. And if those two comes together, then it's a yin and yang.
But amazingly explained. You have mentioned rightly that, in this social media world or in this digital world, everyone is battling with their contents, with their products, everyone want to sell. Now, real key for that is the personalization, which really funnels down to the person or the customer who wants it, not necessarily need it, but who wants it. Now, reaching that is important in the right way, because higher the personalization, better will be the ROI and better will be the metrolization. This is number one. And regarding ads, which you have mentioned, we keep on seeing ads like in Facebook, in Instagram, the sponsored contents and all these things. But many a times we get, no, boss, I do not want to see it anymore. It's too much. That the real problem comes that people who run ad are not very well versed with what kind of personalization or what kind of target audience they go for. But most of the time, such kind of ads, I must say, that has got a very low ROI. Return on investment is pretty low. Most of the time, metrolizations are low. Most of the time, churn out ratio is very high. People see that and people just skip that. They don't go further. So, the real key for that, or real solution for that, I must say, is the personalization. You have to personalize what your target client is looking for, what your client is wanting, and what your client actually want to see. Because, for example, if I consider this pen, I'm very fond of the pen, especially the TikTok pens like this. So if I see a pen which is not a TikTok, or probably which is use and throw, or which is a one-time pen, probably I will see that, but I will move away from that. So that increases the metrolization, number one. That ROI goes for a very bad sense, I must say. And third is that it also gives a very generalized bidding. So that's something which we keep on saying, and the personalization is the key and solution for this problem. So some of the wonderful pointers which we got from you. Now, this takes me to my next point. Now, as artificial intelligence continues to advance, how can the business integrate AI into their digital strategies to enhance customer experience and streamline their operations? Over to you.
Now, AI is a fun topic, and I use it a lot. And I think this is also a reason why you need to get into the digital landscape of things. You can't just run a business in the corner and hope that customers will come running to you and buy your products. But if it's online, even if you have a corner store or a brick and mortar business, you need to be on the online world, because you can utilize powerful tools like AI. So, for example, we use AI a lot in generating ideas, generating content, right? So we have an idea and we can spend a whole week brainstorming content for the next month, or we can, for example, go on ChatGPT, type in, generate 50 ideas and I put my inputs, what I want, my target audience, what will resonate with them, and then I get a bunch of ideas. I read through it, block it out, and then we go on. Marketing, right? And sales copy pages. I can draft my emails, I can brainstorm ideas, and then it's a tool that should help us. So it's not a tool that should replace us. That is an important thing to remember with AI. So even though it spits out everything, go ahead or go back, read through it, change it, personalize it so that it sounds like you, it sounds like your audience, they want to hear it. Because people see through AI. You can see that this is just a generated text. But it's a fantastic tool that can really fast track a business. I think where it usually took 9 months, to start a business, you can do it in 14 days at the moment, right? But this is not even a joke. I mean, I recently started a new campaign, and it's something that usually took quite a lot of time. It took us 5 days to build all the content, write all the books, or the free gift, you could say, for a lead generation. Created a book cover for us, created the sales copy, the email sequence. Everything was done in a day. Then we spent the next 4 days to put it all together, fine-tune it, and launch. And the results are above average. So if you can utilize AI, learn it, then I think it's very positive for any business. A fun fact, actually, that I read, I threw the questions into ChatGPT as well to get some ideas, some inspiration, some facts, right? So over 50% of all companies are already using AI in their marketing, and their results are better than without doing it. So this is also one of the previous questions. How can you stay ahead? Use this. Get in the game, learn it, and continue to grow. That's it.
Mentioned, I must say, you have rightly mentioned the first point which you mentioned. You cannot run your business in the corner. You have to be there at the center point of action. So if you are there in the corner, definitely you will be out of sight, out of mind. So that thing is definitely. And secondly, you have mentioned that AI is a tool to help. I repeat, AI is a tool to help, not to replace us. So we have to first know that we have to upgrade our skill set. We always say that whenever some new technology comes, people get scared that, we will be replaced, what will happen to us, whether the jobs will remain or not. And yesterday, I think day before yesterday, IMF, International Monetary Fund, has also, come up with a report that AI can replace 40% of the jobs. So I personally feel that, the technology changes or such kind of platform changes will happen. No one can stop that. What we can do is that we can upgrade our skill set, and we should know how, or I must say we should strategize how such kind of change of tool or change of technology can really help us. This is something which we need to strategize. Point number one, we need to chalk out the plan, how it can help so that it doesn't replace us. You have rightly mentioned it's a tool to help, not to get replaced. Okay. And AI and content generation. AI and content generation, I must say, it's the two sides of the same coin as on date. Because, ChatGPT is a wonderful tool, but I generally say that ChatGPT is just the tip of iceberg. Entire iceberg still remains to be revealed. So with the passage of time, we will have more chatbots like ChatGPT. We have a lot of other, researches are going on so that it can be done better. Now, newer versions of GPT are coming. So the content generation,
Google Bard. You have Google Bard that's just about to be launched, and then AI is all over the place.
These are all new.
I can replace me sitting here by AI, and you'll never know the difference.
So content generation, AI can be of great help. So that's definitely there. And the sales copies, the sales copy again, AI can be of great use in the sales copies. Let that be drafting email, drafting, drafting the marketing campaigns on each of the slogans, taglines, whatever you take it as. The AI can be of immense help. And the last point which you have mentioned, the work which is generally done in days can be done even in a single day, which leads to a higher efficiency, which means more number of work done in lesser unit of time. So this increase in efficiency is a boon. Number one, it's a blessing, and this has to be utilized in a proper way so that you can take more jobs. You can, with a lesser effort, it can be delivered, and of course with a higher efficiency and low error. So some of the points which we got from you. Now, this takes me to the fifth point. That's the last point of the discussion. Now, data privacy. Now, data privacy is a hot topic. Now, how can a business balance the need for collecting the customer data to enhance their digital presence with respecting user privacy and complying with evolving regulations? Now, every country is coming up with their own regulations. Recently India has come up with their data protection law. And like this, Europe has their own data protection law, US have their own data protection law, and so on. So over to you. What do you think on this?
As both a personal individual and an entrepreneur, I sit on both sides of the coin, right? We all do. As an entrepreneur, as a company, you want to get as much data possible so that, Facebook, they need that data. Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, they all need that data so that they can, when I run an ad through one of their services and I want to narrow down on my perfect dream customer, I need all that data so that they can help me find that person, right? And only show it to the correct person. But on the other side, as an individual, as a private person, I don't want to share everything, right? I don't like that they track every tick, every website I look at. I don't like that. I want my privacy back. So I am very for all the rules, all the regulations, and I think it should be in place. And what we as companies can do is, again, going back on focusing on who your target audience is and really understand them. Because if you understand them and know where they congregate, then, if you want to get in contact with a Christian, you're not going to go to a club on a Friday night trying to find them there. You're going to go to church on a Sunday morning and you'll find them there, right? So if you really do your research, then a lot of those problems will be solved. And of course, with data privacy, as a company, you have to ask permission to collect the data. When you collect leads, when you have people visiting your sites, engaging with the content, you have to give them the freedom and the choice that they want to give it or hold it back. And then you have to respect that. If they don't want to give it, then that's fine by me. And also to have security systems in place so that their data, the data you collect, doesn't get breached out, right? Because that is a danger. That's something that happened to me. My Gmail account got hacked, and through that they got into my computer, into all our systems, and we've lost our whole company, all the files, all the data. So then we had to start from scratch. So that was a two-way mistake. My data got leaked somehow, and also I didn't have personally the proper security measures in place, right? So as a company, as a business owner, always respect the privacy of your dream customers. And I personally believe that if you take that serious, your dream customer will notice that, they will see that, and they will respect you for it. And that will give a huge motivation for them to want to do business with you, right? Because it's not someone or a company that's just there to, for example, if I meet a company, they're just there to take my money. They just push stuff down my throat and say, buy this, buy this, buy this. But for example, our company, we help entrepreneurs launch, build and scale their online businesses, right? We're in a phase of rebranding. So at the back of me, it's Click Academy, right? It's just kind of Click Academy, but with a little twist of words. So we want to help them. It's not that we get the money, but we help them so that they can move on in life. And if they realize that we support or we value their security, their privacy, then that builds a connection, a relationship and makes them trust us more and want to work with us. So it's a win-win on both sides, even though it's annoying as the marketer trying to reach those people you want to work with.
Well, that's wonderfully explained. The first concept which you have, that taken up was we have to think of both ways around. First is as a company, as an individual. As a company, I would like to get as many data as possible so that I can personalize the suggestion based on that. That's point number one. And as an individual, of course, I do not want to share any data. So that's something. So as a company, as an individual, so the priorities are different and way of operations are definitely different. Number one. Number two, you have mentioned that you have to know the target audience, because this is something, it's a golden rule. The more you know your audience, better you will be able to operate. Permission to collect. Yes, this is something which we all have to respect. We have to ask before we collect. So we have to give them the freedom and of course the choice. It's their choice whether they would like to share it with us, or if they are not, that's also fine. So we have to respect their choice. That's it. Protection of data. Protection of data is definitely important, because the data which we are having, definitely the customer data, the client data which we are having, it's our responsibility to protect them from infringement, from any kind of data leak or something. So, I personally say you please make a list of best practices in your company, so that, people should not be clicking any external link, should not be getting into any unsafe websites, some basic things and ask your, the people and your colleagues to please follow those. So most of the time we have seen that probably you can go for a two-factor authorization. So unless and until the one-time password.
Absolutely. Don't use anything without two-step authentication.
Yeah,
that's my personal.
That's it. So that stops a lot of attacks. That stops a lot of infringement types, unauthorized access to your system. Most of the time, it is said that more than 90% of such kind of attacks and infringement stop if we enable two-factor authorization. So that's there. Some of the best practices which can really prevent most of the data breaches across the globe. So some of the wonderful pointers which we got from you. Now, this is bringing us to the end of our talk show. Any closing remarks would you like to give?
Not much, except if there's someone out there who wants to start, you're on the edge, you want to start your own company, but you don't know where to start, you don't know where to go, what's the first step, then feel free to check us out. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We've just recreated all our platforms, and we haven't really focused on marketing yet, as a lot of our systems we had to rebuild, reset up. We're in the rebranding phase, because first we were called SMC Academy, now it's Clickademy. I like that name a lot more. So what we do is we focus on a lot that we talked about today, especially on narrowing down on a niche, finding your ideal dream customer, so that it's not just that they like working with you, but you enjoy working with them. And then we take you through a process of setting up each step so that you have a thriving business that you can scale. Because I remember my first company I set up, I made it work, I was making money, but it was impossible to scale, right? And when I started to make changes, then everything just went to dust. And then we got hacked, thank God. So there's a positive thing there's a silver lining around every cloud, right? So that is just a quick, if they want to reach out, the easiest is to find me on Twitter. You'll see my link there. It's just jfloor.org, and that is just a short redirect link to our main page. I think at the moment it says coming soon, but once the website is completely ready, then we'll be ready to serve.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful closing remarks, definitely. If any of you would like to connect with John, I will give his Twitter handle in the description of this episode, so using which you can connect with him. And that's how we got connected and recording this wonderful episode. I'll be back with many such episodes. Till then, stay tuned, stay connected. Have a great day.